Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. Harry, go sit down. Sure. Tuesday gets here. Already hoping for the hump day. Wednesday night. Calling my girls. Making sure my plans are still tight.
I always have to let it get to a
Thursday
natural
brings a
point in the music.
smile. Cause I won't be putting up with this bull. It'll little while. Me and my girls, we turned it up last week.
She's still not on. Yeah, why couldn't she hear that? Oh, she's muted. But you're muted. She's muted is what's going on.
Hey, welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, Love Talk.
But
I was
that's why
muted because I was waiting for some signal, but I guess the text is the signal. So I stayed muted so you don't have to listen to me in the background talking. Welcome back. You're listening to LoveBabz, Love Talk on 103.5 WNHH. You know, we're live streaming across all social media sites and from the New Haven Independent site. You know, if you click on the New Haven Independent site up in the left hand, there's a old school Victrola. Is it a Victrola or is it the radio? Is it a radio? It's neither. It's it's letters. So it says you can click here and listen live. So that's how you can listen to me and read what's going on in the Independent at the same time. So I hope everybody's well. So in the last hour, I was just talking about the Hopkins stuff. Go over there and jump in the conversation. It's like 68 comments over there now. People are weighing in. They feel some kind of way about all this foolishness. I said all I'm going to say about it. That's it. Now I'm going to turn my attentions toward Russia. Listen, y'all know Putin plays the long game. He is not above killing people. Uh, and he killed that guy. And now they don't want to get a body back to the family because they know they done did some mess. I don't get it. You know, Putin, you was going all right with this march on the folks in this what is the name of these people? Their country. You were fine with marching on Ukraine because you knew the world, particularly Westerners, have a short attention span, and Americans and American leadership is losing interest in supporting this war. So you were pretty much in the clear to just march on these people, but no, no, no. You had to go and kill that guy. And by killing that guy, you trigger the world outrage against you yet again. So and that guy, he was beloved, and he was not afraid to die. He knew he was gonna die. He knew it. He knew they was gonna kill him and all this other kind of stuff. And uh uh it was just a matter of time. And he was sentenced to like hard time in Siberia, wherever the hell. Uh but you done brought the world back down on you now. Now you got people in your own country mad because they looked up to this guy They believed in what he was saying. They took uh they took a lot of what he said to heart, and you killing them. I don't think that stops them. I think his name is Nalvani. Uh, uh, is now probably going to be held up as a martyr, right? Because people will get behind dead people in a minute, particularly those that are noble. Especially those that are noble. So you could have really marched and finished up marching on Ukraine while the world wasn't really paying attention. But now brought the attention back to the world now. Uh and now they're gonna be like, wait a minute. And then your little Russian operative who started this whole President Biden scandal that did not exist. Uh, I didn't really have no intel. I was just trusting what the Russians was telling me. You got Tucker Carlson talking about, listen, these Russian grocery stores are the best. just just at basics, just what you need. Apparently, Tucker Carlson has never been to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or Wegmans. Because I'm gonna tell you, baby, when you go to any one of them, you're not trying to mess around in a Russian grocery store. Like, what? I was like, somebody go and look at his bank account, see how much money these Russians is paying him to be a fool for on American television. So all these people that started this whole let's go after Hunter Biden, they ought to be hauled into court for treason. How you gonna take and then here's the killer for me. Well, this little Russian spy person snitch was always, his information was always credible until it isn't. That's what happens when you're so anxious to do dirt. When you're so anxious to do dirt, you actually dig your own grave. I hope, and then the Dibs, they don't know how to use this to their advantage. I would this if I was in the Democratic leadership and I'm not, this is how I would use this is how I would play this. I would go to the American people and say, listen, you have people in your own congressional leadership that do not trust American intel, that do not trust how we run our country. So much so that at the first sign of some money dangling in front of them, they jump to destroy us. I would that would be the narrative. And I'd make it a very nasty ass narrative. I know, so much for peace, right, Babs? So much for peace. Well, we don't have peace right now. And they dragged the American public through a whole rigmarole around Hunter Biden and this damn briefcase, and his on the on some board and took some money and all this other kind of stuff, and come to find out it was all just a lie. Ah, ah, then what are they gonna say? I mean, are they even talking about it on Fox News? Because that's Fox News is the Russian based news outlet here in America. Anything that comes out of Moscow, they gonna report on it and tell it. And yeah, I'm just saying, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Just so much. So anyway, the Russian people won't give back this man's body to his people because they killed him and they probably beat his ass, and you know, I don't get it. It's making it worse. But I don't think they care at this point. I really don't think Russia really cares. They don't care. I think, when I think about when Putin came to office, I think he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit at the big boy table with the rest of the world leaders," and then when he didn't get the attention or the respect that I think he thought he deserved, and he's still salty about the USSR breakup, and when you come to the KGB, I don't think you leave those tools, skills, and mindset behind you. I don't care how much you think you setting up some kind of voting exercise for your people. I mean, it's not democracy, but you're like, all right, I'm gonna let you vote, but whatever you vote for, I'm still gonna be the president. And that, my friend, is how dictators operate. That's just how they operate. So these congressional Looney Tunes over here who who are espousing the toughness of Putin, aka Donald Trump foolishness, I don't understand that. Russia is not our ally. Did they miss that lesson? They must have missed that lesson. Did they miss that lesson? Like when we get into a scrap, we're not calling Russia. They're not the people we're gonna call. When something go down in the world, we're not calling them. We're just not calling them. Do you understand what ally means? Does anybody, hey, you know what ally means? Russia's not our ally. When we get into when we need some muscle in another part of the world, we don't call Russia. First of all, you cannot give them an inch. And listen, Russian people, I'm a big vodka drinker where I used to be. So I ain't mad at you. I like a bowl of borscht just like the next person. All right. But I do know your president, dictator, president, leader, whatever, he doesn't want y'all to have freedom. He doesn't want y'all to have creature comforts. He doesn't even want y'all to be happy. Is there a word for happy in the Russian language? Somebody look that up. I don't I don't think there is. And if it is, it's been stricken from the dictionary in Russia. I can tell you that. You know. So Tucker Carlson, you should move over there since you love it so much, since you love shopping in their grocery stores. He's such a fool. He is such a fool. But I mean, Fox is not about truth. I mean, they're just not. They're not. They are really one of the catalysts for the demise of democracy as we know it. They are one of the catalysts for the demise of American interactions. They are the ones that keep mess going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, if you've been hanging around black people, you know when we say mess, that is catch all for all the stupidity that is going on in the congressional leadership. So I don't. And listen, I Joe Biden has to be the next president because what are we going to depend on? We cannot golden sneaker boy Trump. Somebody wrote air treasons. And wait, air treasons. And now here's the part. They're $399. There's no telling when if you buy them when you will get them. So essentially, you're just coughing up $400 for the possibility. You just funding Trump. That's that. Just say that. Like don't even say you bought sneakers because that's just a ridiculous thing. And why would you buy sneakers from a man who don't play not near bit of sport except golf? And I hear that's you know questionable. I I don't understand. I You know what? I don't understand people. I saw the thing in the Times the other day. They asked about 10 people who are uh unsettled about the election about who they would vote for. Interesting mix of people. white people, black people, Latinos, Asian. Uh, it's like 10 people. Out of the 10 people, 2 were squarely voting for Biden. It wasn't black people. Uh, and uh, and then the rest of the other 8 people were for Trump. It is baffling to me. I think the only thing that I could like in people liking Trump is like I remember my aunt Catherine when she was alive. She loved professional wrestling, like she loved it. And when I would go over to her house and sit down and hang out with her, I'd be like, "Aunt Cat, you know this isn't real." And I thought she could see what I saw. She was insulted. Oh, it is real. Don't you see? Blah 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 blah. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, it was all these cats. I said, "On cat, these this is not real. They would not be able to survive if this was real." I think my aunt in that moment just disliked me. I think I think my aunt disliked me in that moment. And so we never talked wrestling again. I think she thought this was gonna be like a bonding. I couldn't stand it. These grown men in these little speedos jumping from the thing onto each other and boom, bam. And I was like, so this is how I think Trump supporters see Trump, and the rest of us see gaslighting, fake theatrics, terrible acting. Do you know what I mean? Like that's that's the only way I can explain this level of nightmare. No, I don't get it. He's not well read. He's, and then wait, and here's the other crazy, 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 crazy part. Keeps talking about Joe Biden's age. I'm like, Trump, you only 77, man. Biden is 80. You're like 3, 4 years apart. You're not 20 years apart. You're not 10 years apart. And honestly, Biden can outrun you. I I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's hard. It's painful to watch. It is painful to watch people talk about how they support him. I and I sit there and I watch with my mouth gaping open because I'm thinking, what? Why? Like what? How do you talk to these people? And some of these people are I I don't get it. I think the only thing I can think of is one, that my whole wrestling analogy, and two, that they think that he's being unfairly persecuted and that he's not been given a chance to really lead. Oh, I don't I don't get it. I don't and I don't get it. I just don't get it, and it's exhausting. I don't even talk to people anymore about their political leanings in that regard. I never really did anyway, because race and politics. I mean, I love talking politics. Like, I love talking politics from a place of strategy. I don't like talking politics in terms of people. I think Nikki Haley is I think she just sold her soul for a chance, and she kept jumping at that brass ring. And the more she jumped, the more she lost. That she is almost unrecognizable as a person of integrity. That's the that's the painful thing, I think, to see in her. And how she has shed her ethnicity, she has shed her family history for the sake of this. She pulls it on when when she's trying to compare herself to something, but not really. I know discrimination, but not really. You know what I mean? Uh, she doesn't use her name in the way. It's just a whitewashing all the way around. And people get to do what they want to do, like, but we also get to sit in judgment, right? I'm judging her harshly. She could judge me harshly. I'm not running for office, but she could judge me harshly about the decisions I made in my life. I'm not thin skinned like that. But I think when you sell your soul that fast and that deeply, that you're gonna look back and be like, I was a terrible person. I hope that she has that moment of reckoning where she was like, I didn't play this right. No. I I let these white boys tell me who I was, and I rode that narrative to the point of me being unrecognizable. I think that's the story she's gonna have to come to Jesus with for. I think. Because listen, it's a I just watched her and I'm thinking, girl, what are you doing? Yeah. You I said this and Harry and I said this. Donald Trump does not have a floor. And believe it or not, some of these people do have a floor, even though they act like they don't have a floor. There are some things they're just not going to say and do because it's just not in them. And the ones that it's in them, uh, the Taylor Greens and that other bobblehead girl and a bunch of them, uh, eh, they've already shown themselves to be people of no integrity, no couth, no home training, and just greedy, just a level of greed. And they don't even know what they're trying to be greedy for. That's the crazy part, you know. And they want to privatize Medicare. They want to part y'all with your money, and y'all stupid asses is gonna march yourselves right to it. No, you're gonna march yourself right to it, and it's a shame voting in your not in your best interest. And I think what bothers me too, I just saw this piece. It's these poor states, like these Mississippis and Alabamas and these poor ass states. Like they're like, there's only 50 states and they're like 40, 49, and 50 respectively across the board for education, for healthcare, for housing, for employment. Like they're just at the bottom. They're rival that of third world countries. They're not even on par with developing nations. And for them to sort of say now frozen embryos are humans, and if somebody drops them in the lab or destroys them, they're committing murder. And these dummies out here trying to undo science. It's just the most ridiculous thing. So this is what I propose. If that's the case, every time a man ejaculates, that's the potential for a child. And every time that he has sex, that's a potential. So every woman who has sex with a man should, if they're in those poor ass states, they should go ahead and file for child support in the event that those sperm hit an egg and fertilize it and the potential child appears. Just start. That's what I want them to, if we're gonna play stupid and ridiculous, we might as well just run the whole gamut. So I want somebody to go into these legislatures and broker up legislation that says 13 to 25 or 13 to 40 or whatever, I don't care what it is. That anytime you have sex with anybody You have to register that you have sex, and then you have to give that woman's name, and she starts on child support. Why not? There's a possibility here that life could begin. It's a real possibility. What are the chances? What are the chances? That's my argument. I'm no attorney. I just play one on the radio. This is my listen. All right. So we're gonna play stupid. Let's play stupid all the way around. So every time a man has sex, he's got to go register that he's having sex. And got to name who he's having sex with. And then she has to go and sign up for child support immediately on the off chance that she could get pregnant. And that child support should kick in immediately. And then if she turns out she's not pregnant, then it stops. But we want to give people a head start with new life. I'm just saying. Doesn't that make sense? I think that's a way better deal than penalizing and trying to jail women for pregnancies that they don't know about until about 12 weeks anyway. I think that's a better deal. How come men not getting getting penalized? It's their sperm. Women are not having babies by themselves. We're not starfish. That's what I'm going with. I want to see that legislation. I swear to God, I would move to Louisiana or Arkansas or Mississippi or Alabama and run for office just so I could walk that in. Just so I could walk that in. If they want to talk crazy, oh, Dibs, you should talk crazy right back. That's all I'm saying. I know you won't, though. I know you won't. But I think that's listen, I think that's a Planned Parenthood. I think that's a cause you could pick up. All these other organizations, I think that's a cause. And you pro-life people, that's a cause you could get behind. Jam these men up, jam them up. See if legislation don't change. Since everybody think they scientists and doctors, that you think you scientists and doctors, and prove it. See what you know. All they ass is in the court. Every time you have sex with a woman, you got to register. And she got to go and file for child support immediately. And you get your wages garnished immediately. And if it finds out in 6 weeks that she's not pregnant, my bad. Then your payments stop. And you don't get that money back. Because that money goes to preparation for new life. Vitamins, all the things, that you might need when you're about to have a baby. I'm just saying. That's what I'm brokering. Anybody with me? Who's with me? At first I thought, you know what? Vasectomies. I think vasectomies is a good thing too. I think when a kid becomes 13, march their little asses to their pediatricians ought to be doing vasectomies. Do a vasectomy on a 13 because you can reverse a vasectomy, no problem. You just put some ice on those nether parts for a day, and you right back out there playing basketball, football, soccer, whatever the hell it is you do. And then if you want it reversed, at whatever the age is, maybe we don't say 18, maybe we say 25. So at the age of 25, you've got to go through some kind of classroom about what to do if you're a parent. You have to go through how you get a girl pregnant and a parenting class. And once you get signed off on those things and you complete them satisfactorily, then you could take your little diploma or certificate back to the doctor and get your vasectomy undone. I'm just saying. Oh, and you know what? I'll make it even better. You have to have a promise of marriage and an engagement in order to get it done. Oh, those marriage people would love this. Oh, you can't get your vasectomy undone until you have an engagement or marriage. I'm just gonna go. If we're gonna be ridiculous, let's just go all the way, all the way. You know, let's just go all the way. That way, we don't have to worry about unwanted pregnancies. Like women don't have to be the bearer of that by themselves. That men can stand up and take responsibility for their actions. Those are my two pieces of legislation. This would cure all this talk, all this talk, all this talk, all of it, all of it. Right? It would cure all of it. And then I can hear the blowback now. People will be arguing left and right. And I would say, well, what? I said, well, what about women? I mean, this is what women have to do. So it should be some equal time and some equal skin in this game. Skin in the game, equal. Not just women. Men should be going home crying too. Oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Well, we turn 13, I have a vasectomy. And then you're gonna, if you want to get it undone at 25, then you've got to go through a sex education class and a parenting class. And you got to come back with an engagement of some sort to somebody. And we'll sign off and you can get your vasectomy and then, have all the unprotected sex you want. With your betrothed. But the moment that you have sex, though, you got to let them know who you're having sex with. And then that woman has to go and file for child support immediately. And the garnishment to your wages begin that day she signs off on that. And if she turns out she's not pregnant, well, my bad. And you can't get your money back. Because you got to be prepared for the beginning of life. It costs. That's how I would solve this. I would put that right out there on Front Street, see what happens. See how many people jump at it. See how many men jump at that. I wonder if anybody would say, boy, that's a good ass idea. every time a man has sex with a woman, he got to register that he has consensual sex with the woman. And then she has to immediately go file for child support, even if she's on birth control or not. Because the mysteries of of fertilization. Since we're playing fast and loose with science. And that, my friends, is my reproductive health class talk for the day. Talk about it amongst yourselves. I'm gonna see if I can talk about it in other spaces and see if I can get somebody to come to the floor with this. I think it's brilliant. And you can have all kinds of debate, committee meetings, hearings, have hearings on it. Parade doctors, parade religious people, all the things. A veritable circus, if you will. Good use of taxpayers' time. Or my favorite, allow women to have agency over their own damn bodies. But since we don't want to do that, let's try it this way. Equal. I'm on my way out, good people. I'm back tomorrow. Guess who's back tomorrow with me? Enru. I get to have Enru tomorrow, 10:15. So if you want to get your Orishas aligned, babies, tune in tomorrow, 10:15. I'll be here. And thank you, Nora and Nora's assistant that she is training. Woohoo! Thank you, Harry. I know you're hovering. And I'll see you later. Thank you, Paul. Bye.